seconds. So, gents, I'm gonna go live now, okay? That's fine? Put on a model face. 20 seconds coverage. Hold on. No.
Good afternoon, you're locked into 98.3 FM The Blaze. I'm Samarco Lightborn. I'm just interjecting a little bit for Gigi, host of The Inferno, and I am here with a very special guest, Exuma. So I have the privilege to talk to Mr. Creighton Moxie, and he's here in Exuma for a very special mission and purpose. Welcome to the show, Creighton.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. And if you could just tell Exuma, over the next 2 days, you're here to do something very special. If you can just let us know what it is that you're here for and how Exumians can get in on the action.
Okay, so what I'm here for is I'll be at the Team Cooper Center, and what we're doing is we're having a workshop related to business plan development. Now, as you would know, going through business is a very difficult process, and in order to ensure that you have efficiency in this process and that you're doing things as productively as possible, you want to set a plan. That's with anything in life. If you have a vision for where you're going, you'll be able to get there more efficiently. So what I'm here to do is talk about that business plan development process, but actually show people how to develop these business plans and go through that process with them.
Awesome. And we did see the call of action all last week, so Exumians did register. From my understanding, it is fully booked.
For sure.
So that is a great sign that Exumians really are ready to step in to their creativity and just get things started.
Definitely.
Now, one of the daunting things, Creighton, when I hear someone says bring your business plan or proposal, I'm a little nervous. Now, how much effort goes into that, and what are you expecting from anyone who's showing up to your workshop?
A lot of effort goes into the development of a business plan. It's not an easy process, and a lot of people who actually develop business plans will tell you that it's a business they shy away from. It can be very time consuming and engaging, so you actually have to be very knowledgeable about what you're doing and also set up structures. So in terms of what I like to see people come, in a business plan development process, I have an initial consultancy. So I gather information about not just the business, but who you are as a person. Because an important factor in business is the team. So when a lot of people look at businesses, right, they don't just look at the viability of the business structure, they look at the team behind it. Because sometimes you might have a very viable idea, but if the people behind it, running it, can't do that efficiently or aren't knowledgeable in the area or don't have that passion, then it won't go anywhere. So I love to ask people about themselves, so I'm sure they can bring information about themselves, but also basic financial information, like basic numbers, a basic understanding of your business. I'll do things such as help you with industry analysis, but you have to have basic knowledge of the business if you're trying to get into that. So anyone who's actually coming out and about to be engaged in this process, like you said, tomorrow and the day after, it's just booked from 9 straight until 5 o'clock. So all of these individuals who will be coming out, they should bring information related to their industry and have a knowledge of the industry.
Okay, and even for Exumians who may miss this opportunity, if you're just doing a little self-audit and you want to go into business, what are some of the minor, or just a few things, about 3 to 4 things you want to have a checklist in terms of this is the business I want to go into, and maybe this is something very practical and with a high chance of success.
Okay, so in business, if you're looking to go into something, you look at the marketplace. So one thing I always like to say is that opportunities are seen with the mind, not the eyes. So for example, me coming to Exuma, right, I see so much opportunity. I mean, it's obvious that you have a vibrant economy. You have a person involved in the community, Chester Cooper, who's giving back, and then that incentivizes people to actually want to come over here and invest, locals as well as international people. So when you have these type of things going on, it's very powerful in the community. So I would tell people to look around them and look at various things. One thing I look at in life, right, is value. So if you could get value and take it to somewhere where people want that value, you win. That's the whole thing behind business. So for example, right, if I see people want to build houses out of lumber and I see a bunch of lumber around me, I could go up there, find a way to chop down this lumber, get the equipment and offer it to those people and they'll purchase it. Why? Because it's value. For example, people who decided to bottle water, like it's value. So the biggest thing I would tell people is to look around them, look at their environment, and look at the value. But then the next important factor is there are a lot of ways to make money in life, right? So you could be an employee, you could be self-employed, you could be a business owner, and you could be an investor. Now, business owner, that would be an entrepreneur, or self-employed would be an entrepreneur too. The difference between self-employed and business owner is that someone who develops a business has a structure behind it where you can actually franchise that out and be able to do various things. It's a proper structure. You don't have to be there all the time. Self-employed, you're more tied in. So what I would tell people who are looking to get into business is that you have to have the mindset to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy. It's not an easy way to make money. So if you're employed, you understand that you have a consistent salary that's coming. You know that when bills come, you have a consistent amount of money you could put towards those bills. But an entrepreneur is not always like that. You have to figure out how to generate your money, and it's a very tedious journey too, especially initially for startups. You're going up and down, cyclical. So you have to be healthy, not just physically, but also mentally. You have to have both of those things working in tandem so you can be able to go through the world of entrepreneurship.
And Corinne, it's very impressive because here you are 24 years old giving this fantastic masterclass. And one of the things we often hear from young persons is there's a lot of fear, I'm not ready. And who knows what that definition of ready means? Maybe that means I can't have a business till I'm 30 or 40. But what advice would you give them to step out of fear if they're maybe 21, 22, 25, for example? Okay,
I look at things this way, right? Say I'm a 24-year-old, right? And I want to get into business. Okay, I get into business. Let's say worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. 2 years of my life, right? I tried to go towards that thing. It doesn't work out. At least I know that I tried to give towards my passion, and I don't have to live with regret. I can always get back into life, try to get a job, and figure things out. Now, like I said, entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. People have certain responsibilities that they have to take care of, and certain situations just aren't. It's not conducive for everyone, right? But if you're going to get into it, you have to have that mindset to be like, this is what I want to tap into, this is what I want to do, and just do it. A lot of people in life think that you have to be great to start something, but you just have to start to be great, and that's, you spoke to me about it a little bit earlier. It's about doing the verb, the actual action behind these things. I can sit there and talk about entrepreneurship all day, but if I never go out there and try to create value and try to present that value to people who need it, then what am I doing?
Right. Defeats the purpose.
You know? So at the end of the day, you just got to do it and understand that the things you think are very risky aren't so risky. In a lot of cases, risky is actually very safe, and safe is very risky. Risky is actually safe in the long term, but a lot of us usually think short term. So I looked at it, right? I came out of school at 22 and I was like, I'm about to just give my all to this, and if it doesn't work out, I could always go into a structure where I generate revenue and figure out my life at that point.
All right, good advice, Creighton. And my last question for you, because you're something of a marketing genius. If you could just give one nugget of wisdom to persons who may be going into business right now, haven't thought about how they're going to market themselves, what would be that one go-to key tool of advice?
So in marketing, you have this thing called positioning. And what positioning is how what you do or the product you offer sits on the brain of someone, right? So for example, if I say dark soda right now, you're probably thinking Coca-Cola. If I say e-commerce platform right now, you're probably thinking Amazon or GoImmerse, which I'll be talking about eventually. But you're probably thinking one of those things, right? And it's positioning. If you're about to go there and market yourself into the world, you have to know what you're marketing. You have to know what the brand is. You have to know the essence behind that to be able to market it. Even if you're not marketing it and you want to take it to someone who markets it, you have to understand that so you can present it to them. For example, right, I remember I had a client. They wanted to do a product in the luxury category, right? They came to me, they were like, okay, I want you to do marketing for my product, right? And I was like, okay, tell me a little bit about the product. Now, at this point it was weird because they couldn't tell me about their product and they wanted me to market. So I was like, okay, I could literally take your money right now and market this product and I know it's going to fail. But I told them what you really need is a business plan. So from that process, we developed a business plan. We figured out what their brand philosophy was and put that into the entire brand. So that went down to the logo, every aspect of the company. And you could build around this to where you have value to market. So in marketing, one of the biggest things is people being able to buy into you. If you don't provide practical value, they have to buy into you emotionally. I could go through the whole process of like steps and all that, but they have to tie into you emotionally to where they feel that you're providing value to them. So if you want to market, you have to understand who you are to be able to present that to someone else so that they can tap into that value.
Okay, so know yourself, know your value before you're able to sell yourself or your product. Now that is truly food for thought. And once again, Creighton Moxie, he is here in studio, and he's going to be here over the next 2 days. And those workshops will be happening at the Team Cooper office,
yes,
and that's from about 9 to 5.
Yes, sir.
All right, and just lastly, for any of those persons who are attending and are listening, what should they have when they come to the office? 'Cause I've been in workshop situations where it's hand swinging.
Yes, I understand that. I've been in some situations like that too. You should have basic information about your business. You should have a basic understanding of what you're doing, how you want to go about it, and you know what you want your brand to represent. Because in a business plan, like I said, the team is very important, so you have to be able to articulate that information within the plan. They have to feel the essence of who you are to be able to buy into that plan. For example, right, if you're about to write a 25-page business plan, if you don't have some type of value in the initial, like first page, the executive summary, why would someone take the time to go through all that?
Very true.
Like, how do they even get to the financials? You want to at least get them there, get them that far to where they buy into that part of the business, and then they can figure out the financial tweaks here and there.
All right, Creighton, this has been a riveting conversation. I'm sure the people of Exuma will have great value in your services. A lot of people are thinking this is a chaotic time right now, but that's not the case. This is time to be creative.
And I actually
Just
want to make a
jump
point
forward.
about that. Chaos presents opportunity. Now, I know for a lot of people it may be very difficult to see it in the moment when you're going through stuff, because sometimes the emotions of a situation can overwhelm you. But if you could just take some time to clear your mind and look around logically, you could see a lot of opportunity in the midst of chaos. You could provide solutions for things that are chaotic. And trust me, if you're a Bahamian watching this right now, right, all we have is a lot of chaos going on in our country. A lot of things on a daily basis where you'd be like, why don't we fix this? Why don't we fix that? And you'd be looking around like, this is illogical, like it doesn't make sense, right? So if you could look around and see all those things, let's take some time not just to address it from, you know, talking about it, but look at how you could correct it. Look at how you could provide value. If you see a niche where there's a gap, you try to figure out, okay, I provide a solution for this niche, and through you trying to provide that solution, revenue is usually generated.
All right, excellent. So all our viewers, we need to do a little bit more work on reframing our thoughts and looking in for those spaces where we can insert ourselves. Now this has been Mr. Creighton Moxie. He's going to be here over the next 2 days, so Exuma, buckle up. You're going to get those business plans together. So thank you so much for being here with us, Creighton.
Thank all of you for having me. And the Blaze has been doing a very fantastic job, honestly.
Excellent.
Honestly.
There you go.
And I also like the questions you've been asking too when I was watching a lot of the health conferences and stuff. And I think that they really, you know, address a lot of concerns of people living on the family islands, because a lot of times when we look at this country, everything is focused on Nassau. Even a lot of the rules we have right now focused around Nassau, and it's illogical. Like, we have a whole country, and we have a whole country that has a lot of value, especially an island like Exuma. So I just want to really thank you guys for addressing a lot of concerns of the family islanders and touching on that. And I think what I see going on here is great stuff. We need it in our community.
All right, thank you, Creighton, for that. You've been blazing with us. You're official. You're practically a team member here right now. But we'll talk more about that on the next visit. So I'm going right back to more killer tunes here on the Blaze 98.3 FM. We're back with your girl Gigi, host of the Inferno. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you, John Creighton.